Hi, my name is Sandy, and welcome to Ancestry Roads, the webcast where we discuss Appalachian stories. Today's topic is going to be, where is Appalachia? There are two trains of thought. Is it going to be based on economics, or is it going to be based on geology? I have a couple maps I want to show you, so let's break it down and see what we have, see if we can figure this one out. The first thing you need to know that even though we're talking about geology and economics in this particular webcast, Appalachia, first and foremost, is a cultural region. It's the people and the locations. And even though cultural does not define boundaries as far as land and counties and states, you need to know that first and foremost, Appalachia is a cultural area. Let's talk about geology first. And you'll notice on my Great Appalachian Valley map, a bunch of colors, a bunch of ideas going on here. The first thing I need to let you know is that we're only talking about Appalachia in the United States. The Appalachian mountain range does go up into Canada, and some people do claim that there is an Appalachia in Canada. I'm only talking about the United States, the East Coast of the United States specifically. And I also need to let you know that the Appalachian Trail does not equal Appalachia and vice versa. The Appalachian Trail does go through Appalachia, but Appalachia is much larger than just the trail. So let's look at this map real quick. There's a couple areas that I personally don't normally agree with is where Appalachia is. And the first one would be the tan dot or blob up at the top. That's the Adirondacks. And I don't personally think that that is an Appalachia area, but according to geology, that would be considered Appalachia. And if you notice just to the right of the dot, the pink and the salmon colors, that will show that the Appalachian mountain range goes all the way up through the northern eastern part of the US into Canada. Then if you notice, if you follow this pink trail all the way down to where you see the number 14 into Alabama, I would think that most people, whether it's economics, geology, culture, will agree that the heart of this map, where the three pinkish colors are, is Appalachia. Where there's discord is going to be the Piedmont area and the Appalachian Plateaus, which is the greenish, yellowish colors that you see. So let's take them one by one. So the first one that covers over parts of New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, that is going to be the Appalachian Plateaus. I think a lot of people will agree that this is accurate. The only difference is for the people that believe in the economic boundaries, it doesn't go far enough west. And I'll show you that in just a few moments. Now let's take the bottom, the little bit greenish yellow color, and that's going to be called the Piedmont area. The Piedmont area is where I personally have a problem with. I do not believe that New Jersey is in Appalachia. I do not believe that the city of Philadelphia, and if you go south, the city of Atlanta, is in Appalachia. I just think that this Piedmont area goes a little too far east. It needs to be closer in towards the pinkish mountain range. So that would be where I disagree mostly, is going to be on that Piedmont area. But if you're going by geology, this is considered the Appalachian area. Let's look at this a little bit differently. When we're talking about geology, a main train of thought here is going to be your ridge and valley Appalachians. And think of this in a different way. You're thinking this of the mountain range itself, the people who live up on the mountain, and then the people that live in the valleys. And this map, again, I don't agree with the bright yellow. I understand this is where the mountain range is, and I'm okay with that. I just don't believe that that area is considered typically Appalachian. And I do not believe that it's considered culturally Appalachia. If you look at the blue and gray colors, you'll see again the Appalachian Plateau, the valley and the ridge, the Blue Ridge Mountains, and the Piedmont. Again, I think almost everybody can agree the valley and the ridge and the Blue Ridge Mountains are part of Appalachia. Where we come into question is how far west do we take the Appalachian Plateau, and then how far east and south do we take the Piedmont area? And that's going to be quite a big difference from the next map that I'm going to show you, which is the economic map. First things first, this map is provided to us from the Appalachian Regional Commission. This is a U.S. government agency. It was created around the time of John F. Kennedy's presidency, and it continues today. It covers 13 states and 423 counties, and this is what they consider to be truly Appalachia. These counties can change. Some counties could get worse, and they add them to their list. Some counties can prosper, and they will remove them from their list. This is updated yearly, and it's reviewed in detail yearly. The details, their process is all online at Appalachian Regional Commission's website. So if you're into crunching the data, that would be a good website to go see. Now, does this map really truly define Appalachia? I think it comes close, but I don't think it hits the mark either. So I think that the geology and the economic maps are real close. And if you notice, the heart of Appalachia is pretty much similar. Where I think this map goes wrong is the outlying areas of Kentucky and Tennessee. You notice those little blips and areas there. I think that the Tennessee in particular, those two counties are probably not Appalachia. And when you look at the Kentucky, I do know that a lot of people want Greene County included in that little hook you see on the west side of Kentucky, and it's not. My other question is for Virginia itself. If you go to the Virginia map with the salmon colored, that little chunk that you see out towards the western side of Virginia, that area and going north is the Shenandoah area. And there's two counties there that a lot of people consider Appalachia, and that would be Augusta and Bedford counties. So I'm not sure why those were excluded. That would be something to go crunch the numbers on the ARC's website. As a professional genealogist, I do believe this map is the closest we're going to get to defining Appalachia. It's not perfect, but I think it's very, very close. And before I leave this map, I do want to mention the state of West Virginia is the only state out of the 13 that has completely Appalachia designation from the Appalachian Regional Commission. This is still from the Appalachian Regional Commission. It's just a different way of looking at the previous map. And if you'll notice, a lot of the names are the same: the Appalachian Plateau and the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Piedmonts, the Ridge and Valley. They just have a different name for the Great Appalachian Valley. The Allegheny Mountains are usually from Pennsylvania through Maryland, coming a little bit down into West Virginia. If you notice this map on the right, it doesn't have all the pretty colors, but it's the same map in essence. It matches that very first geology map pretty close, except it doesn't cover all of Pennsylvania going into New Jersey, and it doesn't come as far south into Georgia. What it also doesn't do from the first map doesn't go into Mississippi, but this map does. So again, this is still the economic map that we're looking at. Let's go ahead and bring them together now. So on the left is going to be your geology, and on the right is going to be your economic. As I mentioned before, I think everybody can agree that the Valley Ridge and the Blue Ridge Mountain areas on the map on the left, they pretty much match your map on the right. So that area is pretty much agreed on. The areas that are in contention, again, the bright yellow spot on the geology, you won't see that on the economic map. And then as far south as the Piedmont is on the map on the left, you won't see it come as far south into Georgia and Alabama on the map on the right. What you will see, though, on the map on the right again is it's going into Mississippi, and those two little outlier areas in Kentucky and Tennessee. So I think we're close. We're very, very close to having a definition for where Appalachia is if we're looking at boundaries, actual land boundaries, and we're not looking at cultural. But we still have this disagreement between these two camps. Is it truly based on geology or is it truly based on economic? And I understand both camps completely. You want to base it on the actual mountain range because that's what it's named after. The area is named after. So that would go with the geology. And I understand that some people do not believe that genealogy of people should be based on economic designations, especially from a government agency. But when you're looking at genealogy, you do have to have a source. You have to have something to designate as why you feel this person is an Appalachian. And that's the best that we have right now is going to be this economic map from the Appalachian Regional Commission. Both of them are not perfect. These maps are not perfect, but they're close, and they're close to agreeing with each other. So the question then becomes, have we defined where Appalachia is? Can we actually put stakes in the ground, a wall? Can we say that this is where Appalachia is? And I don't think we can at this point. I think we're close. I think we know the heart of it, and I think we know the general areas of it. I will say that there is an Appalachia Project on a website called wikitree.com. If you have not been to wikitree.com or don't know what Wikitree is, it's a fabulous, free, completely free website where you can create your family tree. The benefit of wikitree.com, besides being free, it's one tree. It's not a bunch of different trees that people have. It's one tree. It's collaborative. People come together to add sources, add biographies, and designate where people lived on these profiles of your ancestors, my ancestors, their ancestors. The wonderful thing about this is Wikitree has projects, and one of their newest ones is the Appalachia Project, where they are discussing the things that we discussed today. Where exactly is Appalachia? How do we determine the boundaries and the location of these people? Particular group works together. They are banded together to try and figure out some of the mysteries of Appalachia, but also they're trying to elevate and change the narrative of Appalachia. One person, which equals a profile on wikitree.com at a time. And it's really great because it's a way to ask questions. It's a way to figure out mysteries and histories. It's a way to research together as a group on a particular area that I love, and I know that you probably love too, in the Appalachia area. So have we defined exactly where Appalachia is? No. Are we really close? Yes. I think it's going to be a combination of geology and economics. I think the economic map is the closest that we're going to get as far as defining which counties and bringing it down to that level. And I think that as we go on and on, we need to remember that Appalachia truly is based on culture as well as the boundaries. So check it out. Check out wikitree.com. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to our channel. And thanks for joining us.